Good morning, good morning to the West Coast. Good afternoon to the East Coast. I have been walking all around my house looking for reception, and I believe it's working. I'm not 100% though, so if it stops, that's what it is. Uh, it was spinning, but now it stopped spinning. So I thought I would just, wherever it stopped spinning, I would stand and talk to you. So let's see what unfolds. How are you? How are you doing in the midst of such incredible transformation and changes on the planet? I want to hop on here today, though. Okay, I see one person came on, so it must be working. To ask you if you know what is the one thing that you could change, that in changing that, it impacts all the areas of your life. What is that one thing that can change how you handle your relationship with yourself? What is the one thing that can change how you handle your relationship with your physicality, with your health, how well you take care of yourself, with your own satisfaction with your job or in your business? What is that one thing that can reap the benefits that you want to see showing up in your life easily and effortlessly? And if you could change and were willing to change that one thing, what would be the results that you would see in your life? I'm Janine Macklin, transformational speaker, wealth guide, and catalyst. And I am on a mission to empower women particularly, but all of you who hear me, to shift the way you have a relationship with yourself and with money so that you see greater money in your life, greater peace and happiness in living your life, and a greater sense of fulfillment. So I was thinking today of what is the one thing that makes the difference. Like when you look at your life and maybe someone works where you work and you guys get paid the same amount, but their life is different than your life. And I can hear myself having said this before. Or what is it that makes someone that maybe you went to school with? Because a lot of you are still friends with people you went to school with or maybe went to college with. And their life looks one way and your life looks another way. What is that determining factor? And often we want to say, we always put everything on money. We always figure if someone has more money, that's how they do what they do. But that's not necessarily true, because you could have more money and still not know what to do with the money. And it can be as if you were not having any money at all. So before we get to the money, what's the piece that drives you to do what you do with your money? What's the piece that drives you to do what you do when it comes to your exercise and your health? What's the piece that drives you to do what you do in your relationships with yourself and your relationships with others, with your family members? What is it right now that is helping you navigate through the election period, that's helping you navigate through the coronavirus, even though Lysol has it on its can and has been on there for several years? What is it that moves you through difficult medical challenges that you may be going through, or difficult financial challenges? Or maybe you're moving through the night of the dark soul where you don't feel like you're connected to God or your higher power, your higher source. And you're wondering, how do you make it through life? How do you keep going in spite of everything that seems to be happening? What is that one thing that makes that determining factor for you, that makes the difference between you and one other person and will make the difference in your life? Anybody have any ideas? You want to put the words below? Let me know what you think. Well, the first thought is it's your beliefs. It's what you believe. And I know in your mind say, oh, it can't be that simple. It's the man, it's the government, it's my boss, it's my husband, it's the kids. If everything out there would change, if everything out there would be the way I want it to be, then my life would be better. Are you sure about that? Because usually what we want for ourselves is less than what the universe has for us. Usually we're playing it safe and the universe wants something more for us. So certainly if all those things outside of us change, I don't know that that means 100% that we would change and we would be better. But what about putting the power in you where the power already is? What if you could change one thing? And it would have a ripple effect, because you understand the laws of the universe, right? You understand there are laws in the universe that are operating invisibly, but they're operating whether you believe it or not, whether you try to learn them or not, and then try to use them or not. They're still operating. This universe is operating really whether we decide to or not participate in it in a way that's going to fulfill us. It's going to do what it came to do. So what's that one thing? And I want to start with beliefs, but I have this whole pattern that I've created in working with clients over the years that belief is the second step. The very first step in shifting your life and making the changes you want to see in your life and getting the results that you want to see in your relationship with yourself and others, in your relationship at work, in your relationship with yourself and family members, in your relationship with money, in your relationship with God, in your relationship with your health. This all goes together. It's what you think. It's your thoughts. It's no magic wand. It's not some big thing that's out of reach. We all have the capacity to determine what we will think and what we will not think. Here's the rub, though. It requires that we pay attention to what we're thinking. And because so much of our life is lived on automatic pilot, life is moving so fast and you're trying to keep up with the conveyor belt of life instead of stepping off of it and creating your own pace that you're trying to keep up and keep up and keep up, that most of us can't keep up with it to that degree. So your thoughts are unconscious. Your thoughts you're not tracking. Your thoughts you don't pay any attention to. So many people are walking through life feeling like a victim. And it is all connected back to your thoughts. So much of what I get to do with the women who choose to work with me is begin to dive into the thoughts that then lead to the belief. That's the next thing. We have the thoughts, they lead to the belief. The belief is then going to lead to the action that you take. I have broken it down step by step by step. I know what it is that keeps you stuck. I know what it is that kept me stuck. And it starts with your thinking. If I asked you, what do you think about your health? What would you say? If I asked you, what do you think about your own self-esteem, the value that you bring to the planet to just from your presence, not what you do, because I know you do a lot, but the value you bring to the planet, what would you say? If I asked you your thoughts about money, what would you say? If I asked you your thoughts about the world that we live in, what would you say? It's what you think. Everything begins with our thinking. And because our thinking is so unconscious, it's warm to me. Because our thinking is also outdated, and our thinking usually is based on somebody else's thinking that they told us, that it no longer works for you and it no longer serves you for what you want to see showing up in your life. You want to look at, how do I think the thoughts? How do I think the thoughts in alignment with what I want to see showing up in my life? How do I do that? How do I become aware of the thoughts that I'm thinking, recognizing that my thoughts have power? They're going to attract certain things into my life. Whether you believe it or not doesn't change the fact that this is what's happening in the universe all the time. And if you can begin to recognize how powerful you are, how amazing you've been made and created, and the innate powers that you have within you, and be willing just a little bit to cultivate those, be willing to take like 5 particular thoughts or 5 particular beliefs and shift those. Okay, they tell me 5 is a lot. So maybe just 1 belief or 2 beliefs and shift that. Your thinking determines your beliefs. So what can you change? If I asked you, you come on here afterwards and you put #replay, tell me what state you're in. What are the thoughts that you think about yourself and money and your relationship with money, yourself and yourself and your relationship with God, however you define that for yourself as it relates to your health? What are you thinking about that? And then track the thoughts that you think and see what results show up in your life. Because what I'm all about for 2020 is results. I want to work with those people who are ready to see the results, who are ready to do the work to see the results that are going to show up in your life for the things that you say that you want. But this is just one thing you can begin to do. I dare you to take a piece of paper and write it down. What do I think about money? Write the thoughts under there. What do I think about my health? Write the thoughts under there. What do I think about my relationship with God? However you define that for yourself, if you're more religious and you're in an organized church, or if you're more spiritual and you're free-flowing, what do you really think? And then what do you think about if you've got your health, you've got your relationships with yourself, your family, your friends, you've got your relationship with God, or however you define that for yourself. And then you have one more that's slipping my mind right now. But you want to become aware of your thoughts, because what someone thinks in their life is not going to impact you. What will impact you in your life is what you think. And unfortunately, so much of it is unconscious. So much of it is so ingrained that you don't even hear the thoughts that you think, which is where I come in, because I love to listen to my clients talk. And as I listen to you talk, I can hear where you're stuck. I can hear the thoughts you think. I can hear where you're shortchanging yourself and you're robbing yourself of money way more than the credit card companies are. And if you could begin to identify some of those thoughts, write them down on paper and see, are they true? Not true because of the way your life looks, true because you believe them. See, what shows up in your life is what you believe. What shows up in my life is what I believe. So what are you thinking? What are your thoughts? And then if you understand anything about the laws of the universe, then the laws of the universe are going to act upon your thoughts. It's like right now, if you're someone who's doing stocks, when we're looking at your prosperity, we're looking at your infinite prosperity, the stocks plummeted. Now, if you were willing to be in the game regarding stocks, you would go in there and do the research and buy stocks who've dropped, because you know at some point they're going to go up. But if your thinking is what most people have, that, oh, if I play the stocks, I'm going to lose money, you don't have any problems with losing money on credit card interest. You don't have any problems with losing money on running down to the casino and playing down there and losing money there. But on something that's been put in place for the longest, for everyone else really, and not even for us, that works, you want to hesitate to play the stock game. But you'll play the gambling game at the casino. It's what you think is determining what you see showing up in your life. So the money mindset for you today is to begin to pay attention to your thoughts. Are they your thoughts? Or did you inherit them from your parents? Did you inherit them from your childhood? Did you inherit it from your community? Because we're good on, well, my mother did it, my grandmother did it, so I'm going to do it. They lived in a different time than we did. They lived in different circumstances. Although it's true, America is pretty true to itself as I watch it unfold. But still, your mindset can be completely different than theirs in order for you to see the results that you desire. Does that make sense? So I dare you, excuse me, to look at the thoughts that you're thinking. In those 4 areas of your life, your finance, your health, your relationships, your spirituality, those are the 4 components of our lives that move us to happiness. And see what your thoughts are. What are your thoughts about God, life, in the universe, however you define that for yourself? You're going to get everything in the by and by, so you're miserable here? Or you simply know that you live in a oneness with that infinite power and presence, and that when you're aligned with it, it will move through you and manifest all of your heart's desires? Are you aware of your health? Are you doing the walking? Are you doing the eating? See, so much has to do with your willingness to put in the work on a consistent basis. The coaching that I do helps give you the encouragement to stay on track. Because after you've, let's say if one of your goals is to lose weight, the usual one, after you walk for about 3 or 4 weeks, on the 5th week, you're tired. You don't want to walk anymore. You're bored. But you still have a goal that's waiting for you to take the action for it to give you the results you desire. So how long are you willing to hang in there until you see your results? And that all goes back to what you think. What do you think about your money relationship? What do you think about your health? I have friends who take pill after pill after pill. I'm like, really? But you won't take money and invest in paying for a doctor who can give you a cure because you have to spend your own money. So you're only using what your medical services will provide. In your relationship with spirit, for those who are more spiritual, our relationship with God and Jesus, and however you define that for yourself, are you committed? Are you involved in that relationship? Are you asking that power to shift your thinking to be more open to receive greater abundance and prosperity? And then what? We did your finances, we did your health, your relationship with your money, and then your relationship with your family and friends. Your family can rob you blind, and you're letting them because you have this thing about, I can't say no. And particularly in some cultures, it's a lot because you want to say no, but then it's like, well, mom would be mad at me if I say no. My sisters would be mad at me. And you haven't learned yet to be okay with people being mad at you so that you can live the life that you've destined to live for yourself. You'd rather have their approval. You'd rather have their okay and be unhappy and missing what you want to see showing up in your life than take a stand for your dream and take a stand for your goals. But it all comes back to your thinking. And thinking is sneaky because it's unconscious if you're not monitoring it. If you're not present, with most of you are not present because you're on this treadmill of life that keeps you moving. You get up, you go to work, you talk to your friends about the same old thing over and over and over. You talk back and forth about whatever happened on the news, whatever happened on some TV show that's not going to improve your life, but it's nice gossip. You go to lunch, you get off work, you run 1,000 errands, you come home, you do whatever for the kids, and then maybe you drop dead around 8 or 9, but where in there did you take care of you? How come your lunch is used to gossip as opposed to your lunch being used to propel you towards your dreams? How come it's not okay to get up 30 minutes earlier than everybody else while the house is still quiet and do your prayers and your meditations and set your intentions for the day? If you don't do it, it doesn't matter if you coach with me or anyone else. Unless you do it, it won't matter. And paying for programs and not using them doesn't get you the results that you desire. So the mindset shift for you today, the thing to look at changing, you want to change everything, and everybody wants to change this, is change the way you think about yourself, about your relationship to yourself, your relationship with your money and your finance, your relationship with your family and friends, and your relationship with the infinite provider of all that there is in this planet. What are your thoughts? I'd be willing to bet at least $5,000 if I got a group of you in a room and had you write down your thoughts. From that page alone, I could tell you how your life is going and why. That's the psychic, spiritual part of me. So that's for today. As I look at myself, I see my eyes all glossy and everything. I'm trusting it's my allergies. I know I don't have a cold because I haven't even been anywhere near a thought of coronavirus. I'm not getting caught up in that at all, but I know my allergies are bothering me today. So I'll leave you with that thought, though, is what are you thinking? If you just did that, I'd love to see how many of you, of those who hear this, who read it, who listen to it, who pay attention, would actually sit down with a piece of paper and write relationships. What do I think? Money. What do I think? Health. What do I think? Spirituality. What do I think? The 4 components of our lives that bring us the happiness and fulfillment that we say that we want. What do you think about it? And if what you're thinking isn't aligned with what you want to see showing up in your life, what action are you willing to take to see something different in your life? What action are you willing to take to see something different show up in your life? Because if you keep doing what you've been doing, you already know the results, right? You're going to keep getting the same results. So what will it take for you to think differently and then do something differently to see different results in your life? So #replay for those of you come on after. You guys don't follow directions well. To let me know. #replay. Thumbs up. Yes, no, doesn't work for you. You can think whatever you want to think. Just let me know your response and your thoughts. Have a great day. Take good care. Stay out of the frenzy around the virus. When I found coronavirus on the Lysol can, that let me know that it's nothing new. It's a flu. They're making it seem like there's some huge, big epidemic like we had with the AIDS. No, this is a flu. And it does require some different interventions, but most of all, it requires that we wash our hands, stop hugging and kissing on each other all the time because we don't know where people have been. Drink plenty of water. I'm boosting my son with vitamin C every day to keep his immune system up. Just keep your immune system up and then just live life. Drink plenty of water. Get your juices if you need it. Get your vegetables if you need it. And don't get caught up in the scare. The politics is going to do what the politics is going to do. Focus on you. And I guarantee if you focus on what you think, if you begin to write down the thoughts that you think in those 4 areas, you'll see how come your life is the way it is. And more importantly, then maybe you'll reach out and set up a session with me so we can talk some more about how do we then move you past the thoughts that you're thinking right now to begin to create some different results in your life regarding your money, regarding your relationships, regarding your spirituality or religion. I'm a spiritual person. I grew up in religion. And regarding your health, because those are the 4 key areas. Let me know what you think. Let me know your thoughts. Please put them below. And again, let me know what state you're in. We're still looking at doing a tour, but I want to know specifically what state you're in. And for those of you who'd like to set up a session with me, I'll put a time trade link below for you can grab a session with me, only if you are ready to make a shift and a change. Only if you're ready to say yes to yourself and not let anything or anyone get in the way. And then maybe I'll come on later in the week and talk to you about family, because so much of what I hear from people is family. How do you draw the line? How do you say no? How do you not get caught up in, oh, my mom this and my dad that, or my sisters and that? And so all of your money ends up going, all of your time ends up going, all of your energy and worrying and fretting ends up going to all of these other people. And there's nothing left for you. And you do it over and over. How do I know? Because I did it too. So what's the thing you can change? It starts with your thinking. Take good care. Have a great lunch. West Coast, have a great morning. And bye for now. I'll see you on Wednesday.